I'm going to wait for it to tell me that I'm live. And there we are. Hi, good morning. Is it morning? No, it's good afternoon to everybody out there. I'm Elena of the Witches Box for our regular Tuesday live where we get together and we do things. This is where we get together live and then do an oracle reading, and then we get together. We just hang out and do witchcraft Q&A. But I mean, today, all of you seriously get the award because it seems like you've been here for a hot minute, and there is a whole long chat already going on way before I even got here. I love it. I will try to get to some of this and respond to the questions about the incense because I saw that. But oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. I love that you're all here. Welcome, Colin. Welcome, Emerance. Welcome, Alexis and Tatiana. Good afternoon. Hi. So blessed full moon. Yeah, we had a beautiful full moon yesterday. The energy is stirring. But it feels like an incredibly empowering moon. Like there was just this surge yesterday for me. The Moon Ritual Coven, the rituals for yesterday's moon went out and up a few days ago, several days ago. And I did that ritual, but I also just had a really long and gorgeous meditation with that full moon. And I gotta say, this morning in particular, I felt like a little like whoosh, like a whip of energy that surged, and I took care of a couple of things in super fast, decisive ways, and it feels really empowering. So I have to say that I'm really feeling the moon. Hey, Mr. Elliot, welcome. It's good to see you here. And Vanessa, hello. And Esther, hello. So like that, Elena, we're just keeping it warm for you to get here. Thank you. Listen, today, let's have a conversation really quick. I have my heater on because my husband, who is amazing, did some kind of like juju tech magic on my camera, so it shouldn't turn off if it gets warm. There's still one more thing that we can do, but we will see. I think that it's going to be okay. I've already recorded 2 videos this morning, so like doing the back to back to back is a little dangerous, but we will see how it goes. Okay. So, love for Elliot. So I'm glad that you're here. We are still working with the Archeo deck. I said last week that I would show you some of the books that Nick Bantock has created. And then yesterday I went down a really big rabbit. I mean, it wasn't a really big rabbit hole. I went on Amazon and looked under his name, and he wrote so many more books than the 4 that I have, which I'm kind of sad and shocked that I didn't know that because they all look like they're in the same style. So I'm going to show you the books that I have of his after I do the oracle reading, and then we can talk about that, because what I'm thinking is that what I really need to do is get all of his books and then do a video on that along with the deck, because the deck is just so beautiful. So for those of you who are new and who haven't been here or don't know what deck we're using the Nick Bantock The Archeo personal archetype cards. Got this. Okay, and also most of you know this already, but know this, that if you are subscribed to the box, this is going to be in the February box. I know it's a massive reveal, but I don't want you guys to go out and get this if you are subscribed to the box. So this is actually going to be going out in February. It's a beautiful deck. I'll show you more. Last week I showed you some of the images or some of the cards in the deck, and I can do that again today. I pre-pulled because of the way that this is set up. I'm actually reading from the book. I normally don't do that, but because he's got very specific information and questions related to each of the archetypes, I'm just going to go ahead and read from the book. So because of that, so that I'm not shuffling and doing all the thing in front of you, I pre-picked, and the card for today is the Alchemist, and there it is. I mean, can I show it again? Because it's kind of beautiful. As I was holding it up, wait, hold on, there we go. I just kind of got a little mesmerized by staring at it, and then we had some dead space, so there you go. All right. That is the card, and I'm going to read to you from the book. And this is for the Alchemist. So he breaks it down into attribute and then persona. So the attribute is, the alchemist has the capacity to open your eyes and show you beyond the mundane to the great window that looks out on the unfolding universe. His is a spiritual philosophy, a pursuit of eternal life, found by living in a state of constant wonder and presence, which I love. Persona. Enlightened alchemy is and always has been a search for truth, not a pseudo-scientific hunt for wealth. In its purest form, it expresses itself as a quest for eternal life in the form of unified opposites. And so the alchemist searches with diligence, leaving no periodic table unturned, striving to look beyond his peripheral vision. In a narrow alleyway, he stares up at the flecks of the dust that float within the shaft of light. He considers these microcosmic specks that mirror 100 million worlds, each as meaningful a reality as the one we trade in. His thoughts wander. He tries to grasp the fleeting notion that he's standing on such a dust fleck. But his vision is hermetic. But his vision is of hermetic rebellion against the mundane, cannot be contained in daily language. Returning to his chamber, he draws a convoluted diagram of oscillating symbols that revolve around the golden dream. He's a visionary, and as such is a threat to comfortable thought. Powerful institutions, including the state and the church, demonized his predecessors, their vested interests directed toward suppressing contrary thought. Yet he has survived isolation and contrived misrepresentation to instruct us in the parallax ways of worldly comprehension. That's beautiful. What I love is, I think that the salient thing that I got from this immediately was being in a constant state of wonder and presence. My teacher, she's been my teacher now for 7 years in the Sri Vidya tradition. But truly, I have been working with her for actually now over 20 years, which is amazing to me. And one of the things that I learned from the other lineage that we worked together in was that even when you become proficient in something, so let's say you've been a witch for many, many years. I have been a witch now for, 27-ish years, almost 30 years. That there is some really important wisdom and magic to be gained in returning to the beginning, returning to the beginner mind, and to looking at all the things that you can now start to take for granted because you've been doing it for so long, but to look at it with wonder and with presence and with like the beginner eye, like the new baby. Like if I'm looking at this from a new perspective, as if I'm new to the whole thing, being all of who I am now, what else comes up? And oftentimes when we approach our magic, when we approach our lives, when we approach learning something from that perspective, a whole new layer of wisdom can come up just by removing yourself for a minute from your story and from the history of like, I know this, I've been doing this for 1,000 years now, removing yourself from that narrative and kind of shifting your gaze into that of a baby or a new beginner and approaching it with wonder, approaching it with curiosity. A whole new layer comes up, a whole new layer of wisdom, and the field in which that you're playing in expands exponentially. So I love this. I love this perspective from the state of from the perspective of an alchemist and that archetype. So I think that really what I'm taking this to mean at this point is that this is what we need to return to the place of beginning and to the place of newness, and look at everything with that new gaze and to see what comes up. So it's beautiful. I mean, this is almost something that you can do for an entire year as a practice, but since we're doing this week to week, this is the week's Oracle reading. So there you go. Boom. Do you see it? I also think it's great because it's really great for new beginnings. We're at the beginning of the year. UPS is here, which we should all be really excited about because UPS is here. And when UPS is here, our lives move a lot faster. So there's that. Okay, so let me put this away. And let me catch up because you have all been communicating with each other, I think, for like an hour before I even got here. So let me look. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to not rush, but I'm going to go quickly through the very first conversation that happened before we started with, I think Abby was part of it too. So Callum and Abby and Emerence, in terms of and this may have been covered, okay? But in terms of incense that's with loose product or loose herb, the charcoal discs are meant to be kept whole, or you can cut them in half, or you can even cut them in quarters. You don't want to crumble them. You can, but it tends to burn out a lot faster that way. if you've got, let's say, the entire charcoal, that can last for a very long time. And what you do is you hold it carefully with tongs or in a way that you can light a corner of it. When the flame has been on it long enough, it'll kind of like flash a little bit and then it'll fizzle across. You don't want to be touching it when it catches fire, because even though there won't be flames, you'll see almost like a really cool border of flame, like a sparkle, move through the entire disc. That means that it's lit. You can put it down. And then I do a mixture of herbs as I feel called. You now have a really big collection of herbs. So you can do one herb at a time to see how that smells so that you can kind of familiarize yourself with the scent. But this is what I love to do. This is like my thing, because sometimes when you have a dried herb, it can be bay, it can be cinnamon, it can be, someone said, I think rosemary and I don't see it now, rosemary and sage. Those things are beautiful dried rose petals. You might find that they burn quick and then they get really smoky and you can't quite get the scent because it becomes a burnt, dried thing or matter smell, right? As opposed to the scent. I mix all of my dried herb incenses with resin. Resin is like the thing to do because it sweetens it, it slows it down. It also creates a level of heat that seems, and I don't know if this is scientifically a true story or not, but because the resin seems to burn hotter than the herb itself, the smoke that I get from herbs that are being burnt on a charcoal disc with resin seems to be a cleaner smoke. It's not as dark, it's not as like burnt smell. The scent and the oils from that that dried herb will come through a lot more. So I will typically combine, I always do, I always combine my herbs with a resin. There are many resins that you can use that are beautiful. Some of them are more expensive than others. Some of them are harder to find than others, but frankincense, myrrh, copal, I think it's pinon. It's like a pine resin, which is beautiful. What other resins are out there? There are quite a few, but really, it's also a matter of preference because they come with their own scent and they're going to add both correspondent energetic meaning and vibration to the incense, but it's also going to come with its own scent. So you want to play with that. My favorite at this point, because it's like the one that I go to over and over and over again, is copal. I love copal. It's got a very specific scent for me. But myrrh and frankincense are beautiful together as well. Anything pine is always gorgeous. So it's really a matter of what you can get a hold of. We had resin for a while that we were sending out in our what is it, our mystery herb boxes, but we don't have that anymore, so we're out completely. That was probably like early last year. But if you go to a witch store near you, an herbal store near you, you can maybe find some. They usually sell them in small packets, and a little can go a long way. And in fact, also when you're using the charcoal, a little pinch of each thing can go a long way. Don't feel like you got to pack it on. It will burn for a while. And then when you find that the charcoal disc has kind of like done its way with the herbs and the resin on top, you can add more on top and it'll smoke again. So it's really lovely and it lasts a long time. Okay, I think that's that. I'm going to try to squeeze through the rest of these because I am now really, really behind. Okay, so you guys talked about that. Do I have announcements? Oh, I do have things to share with you, but let me get caught up and then we'll go into that. Growing old is inevitable, but growing up is optional. That's a true story. We need to reframe that though. We need to be able to grow up and not fall prey to, I can talk about this because I'm on a rant because of a TV show that I'm watching. We don't need to fall prey to the stereotype of what being older is, right? We can grow up and still be young at heart in a way that's still mature. Emerence is going to live until she's 150. I'm going to live until I'm 111. So there you go. The over 100 club is right here. Yes, the moon was super powerful, Ada, for sure. And we're still in it. We're still feeling it. I woke up this morning and it landed for me today. Even though yesterday was really beautiful, it's like, oh, I got it. I got it. I'm so glad you're here, Melissa. Thank you. Thank you for the hair love. Yes, look, it's happening. It's, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I don't have any hairspray today, but here we are. I'm a little anxious now for it to grow faster. So we'll see how I last. We'll see. Emma says, Elena, I'm working on a way to keep you warm. No, I got it. Listen, my mother-in-law sent me an amazing blanket, so I just forgot to bring it, but I have the heater on, and then the blanket's going to cover my lower half because I think I told you all that the floor isn't insulated, so that's where the cold is coming from. So I'm on it. I got it. It's all good. And today it's a gorgeously super foggy, really cold, wet day, so it's a perfect day for a heater. Melissa, hi Lena. I think I saw that the Witches Box meeting this month is on YouTube and not on Zoom. Is that correct? Yeah, yes and no. So this is great. I'm going to do this really quick announcement. So Melissa, what's happening is that for the January box, the pre-recorded deep dive is already out, and the link to that is in the forum under the thread for this January Book of Shadows box. You know. So that's already out, and then we've added a second video gathering to that whole package. So you get the box at the, I mean, ideally in a perfect world, you get the box at the beginning of the month, and then I'm also sending you a link to a pre-recorded video that's like a teaching, so that when you have the box, you already know what to do with it, instead of having to wait a whole month to like get to the live gathering. And then at the end of the month here on YouTube, which is this month, it's going to be the last Tuesday and not the last Wednesday, because I'm going to be traveling on Wednesday. But the last Tuesday, we're going to gather live on YouTube, so that if you have any remnant questions, you can bring them there. Anybody can join and just ask about that particular topic, which is going to be Book of Shadows. So if that makes sense. And that announcement is already, wait, what was I going to say? That announcement, that link to the YouTube video is already also in the forum. Okay, there you go. I've got 2 more months. You know how I roll. I'm ahead of you, so I still don't have it down, like how to manage and juggle all these months in my head at once. Hold on. So Emirates, Elena, I read that. That you're watching while you work. I love it. I'm watching while I work too. Alexa says, thanks for telling us not to last time. The deck was legit sitting on my online cart. Oh, I'm glad I told you. It's such a beautiful deck. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm almost caught up, and I'm going to show you the books that I have. And then I think I've already said this, where I went on Amazon to look at what other things Nick Bantock has done. And I realized, holy cow, while I was sleeping, he wrote like, I don't know, 18 other books. I'm going to really try not to buy them this month, but it may be that that's like a big video at some point, because I just love his work. Okay. And the cards are really beautiful. Lourdes, I saw that. Elliot asks, what's the February box? So the February box is, we're going to be making our own Oracle deck. So we're going to get an Oracle deck, which this is the big reveal, right? That I said last week. And on the email that we sent out, this is going in the box. Do you see it? There we go. So you're going to get an actual Oracle deck, but you're also going to get a packet in order for us, either together or as we work together over time, create your own Oracle card. So we're going to go into why you would do this, the different types of themes that you would have in your Oracle card or Oracle deck, and a couple of different like things that you can maybe use to put your Oracle deck together. Then there's a whole other do-it-yourself, but here's the base for it, divination bundle, which I'm not going to tell you because really I can't give it all away. So that's the theme for that box. And then I'm not going to say what's in the box, but into March, we're going to be revisiting the topic of hexing and unhexing. That is as much of a hint as you're going to get. I love you guys so much. Okay, but not me when I lose my place. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Emran says, holy Batman, Elena, this month's box. I wish I could have figured out how to post pictures. Golly molly, I got seriously busy with the goodies. Oh, I'm glad. So just post pictures on Instagram and tag us, and then we can see what you did. And then Emily will go through and repost those on our story. because I'd love to see. You can also post them in the forum. There's a way for you to post your photos in your forum post, because that way everybody else can see amazing things that you've been doing. But yeah, the struggle with this month's box for me was that I wanted to keep everything. It was a situation because we are now we have Tobin and Erica in the workshop, and we just at one point spread out all of those botanical, because I thought we only had like 4 different types of botanical stickers. It turns out that we have, I think, 7. Those botanical stickers were so, and still are so beautiful. Trust and believe I kept a bundle for myself. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them, but they are so beautiful. It was one of those things where I just wanted to sit all weekend long and play with it. So I get it. I want to see what you did. Post pictures on the forum and on social media. There is also only 4 of those boxes left as of right now, at least that I know of. I haven't seen anything come through on my phone. So if you didn't get that, now's the time. Okay, I saw that. I call myself an alchemist because all my cooking is kind of witchy and also entirely experimental. I think that cooks are absolutely alchemists. I mean, look, think of what you're doing. You're transforming not only the raw into the cooked, but the blending of the spices, and then the experience that you elicit in someone else and the healing that you elicit in someone else with what you feed them. Absolutely. In another life, I was in food, by the way, because I think I brought up food last week too. Emirates, okay, I'm not gonna read your conversations with each other. My husband gave me some notes last week because he was watching. He's like, you realize you're like, I was like half hour behind the question that you guys were asking. And I'm like, I know, but I want to say things and I want to read it all. Hold on, let me think. Where am I? Woohoo, UPS, yes. I know, after I get off this, I'm gonna run over there to see what UPS brought. Hi, Crafting My Life. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Yes. Whoop, UPS. Yes. I love the meaning of that card. Isn't it beautiful? And then just the art. The art is so beautiful. Can herbs go bad? Yes. Mine are stored in jars and some are still in the... Okay, so... Ooh, let's talk about this. Excuse me. Herbs do go bad. So, for instance, the herbs that I send you in the what is it called? They're sealed against the light. There's no light that comes into them. Those will last longer. And also because they're not, once you've opened them, air comes in, but they're fairly airtight. So they protect, those bags protect them against moisture, and it protects them against light. Light will diminish the potency of your herbs. It'll drain it of its oils, right? It'll dry the oils out so it doesn't have the scent and the smell that it normally has, but also in those oils is a lot of the power of the nutrients or the healing properties of those herbs. So oh my God, I can't talk today. Typically, if it's in a bag like that, you can have your herbs there for about a year. If it's in a jar, like most of mine are in a jar, but it's in a room that doesn't have an actual window, so it doesn't get direct sunlight, that you want to play with it, but I would say between 6 and 8 months. That's pretty much as long as they'll last. But if it's in a room with a window where sunlight actively comes in and they're in a glass bottle, you probably want to change them out every 6 months. So everything is a little different. Everything has a little bit of a different life. Like one herb, something like a mint, will have much stronger oils and a constitution than, say, something like chamomile. Chamomile won't last as long, in my personal experience, as something like a mint. Mint will weaken, just like chamomile will, but it will last a little longer, and you can still get something out of it if it's like 8, 9, 10 months later. So you want to really check in with it. If it's sealed against the light and the air and moisture, they will last a good year, and sometimes they'll last longer, but you want to keep things fresh and you want to keep it potent. Yeah. So that's the answer to that question. And Amy loves copal and pine and sandalwood. Yeah, sandalwood's beautiful. Sandalwood's hard to get authentic. Sometimes it's fake sandalwood because there's just now at this point, like the sandalwood that I have is like, I have been holding, and so I've had the sandalwood that I have for a couple of years, but I won't let it go because it's really hard to get in its pure form. Like it's really hard to get pure sandalwood powder. Usually it's cut with other things because we're at this point, we shouldn't really be using sandalwood because it's just, we're taking too much from the planet and we're not able to replenish it as fast. But sandalwood is a magic. A sandalwood oil for me is one of the most magical things, and you only need like a little half drop and it does wonders. And then that's the other thing, for Colum and everyone else who was in on that conversation with for the incense. sometimes, so let's say you get like a three-fingered pinch. There's a name for this, but you know, there's the hand measurements. If you look it on Google, there is probably a couple of graphs on what you can do to measure certain things with your hands. So there's the pinch with the two fingers and there's a pinch with the three, right? Because this is more than the other. If you do like a two pinch or one pinch or a two pinch of herb combined with resin, you can, if you have a dropper is easier than like pouring it out of those little like stopper holes from a bottle. But like a half a drop of an oil on top of the charcoal with the herbs and the resin, then you can really kick up the scent that you get. It can be a really beautiful mixture as well. So if you can't find something like sandalwood in its like wood form or powder form, you can do the oil. Usually the oil is definitely going to be cut with like almond oil, but that's okay. If you just do a drop, that will also add the scent to it in a really beautiful way. Hold on. We talked about that. Oh, Lourdes, I'm glad that you like the box. Wonderful. Okay, you just reminded me of something, so I'm going to say this. There are, I think, a handful of you. I don't know that you're all here or here at all. Right now, I'm only remembering 3. There are probably more, but 3 of you where your boxes got to your country and then, for reasons that no one seems to know, left your country and went somewhere else. So the news is this. It's been happening. The people that we use for our like shipment know that it's happening and say that it's oddly happening for a lot of people. A lot of the boxes are coming back to the country that they were supposed to be in and to their rightful owners. So hold up for another week and we're monitoring the whole thing. We don't know what's going on, but it's like the boxes are just taking a trip around the planet and we got to roll with it. But know that it's happening to a few people that we know, but also the people that we use for our labels are saying that it's happening with quite a few other clients that they have. So we know that they're in other countries, and we know that that was like, for one person, it was literally like 20 minutes away from their home, and then from there it went to a whole other country. Like I think it was Australia. I don't know what's going on. So we're on top of it. We just don't know. Thank you, Kay. Hey, Kay, welcome back. Jessica, hi, says, I'm just getting into Oracle cards and I've got a few, oh yeah, of the Colette Baron Reed decks, which are beautiful. I've got a few too that I love. It was a toss up, by the way, between the Nick Bantock cards or one of the Colette Baron Reed decks. So I think that after we're done with Nick Bantock, we're going to go into Colette because 2 of her decks are like the decks that I love and I go back to a lot as well. You know, I mean, I'm having a love affair with too many cards. So you got, oh, why do I do that? Hold on, Colette. I keep pulling cards in protection position. 4 out of the 4 last night. Do you have any insight into why that's happening? I mean, it's a message, girl. It could be a message, and typically what will happen is that if that's the message, the overall message that the card is giving you or the cards are giving you, then you want to read what the individual cards are so that you have an idea of what direction that protection needs to be aimed at or considered. Yeah. I have 5 Oracle card decks and 1 tarot deck. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't even want to tell you how many I have. Someone asked, it was one of you, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I don't know when, right? But you'll remember. If we're gonna do another one of the live tarot like happy hour gatherings, and yes, the answer to that is definitely yes, because I have since accumulated a few more decks, and this time it won't be so long because it was like a 3-hour thing and we never got through all the cards, but I think I have about 6 or 7 decks that I can definitely share with you, and one of them is so much fun. So that won't probably happen until February or the end of February, but that'll be happening soon. Okay, so Elliot says, do you know if you'll have extras of the February books? I wasn't able to afford to subscribe. Hold on, let me think. Yes, we will. We'll definitely have. And I don't even want to tell you who the authors are, but they are authors that we have read their books before. Like they have been with us before. We've read several of their books before. That gives you like a big hint. I'm really excited about these 2 books. So yeah, we definitely will have extra because I definitely ordered extra because this is definitely one that people will want. I tried to post in the forum and the Witches Box Instagram and nothing would upload. Oh, I've been using computers for 50 years and suddenly technology is wonky and then there's Mercury retrograde. Yes, there is Mercury retrograde. Okay, but okay, so the forum I will look into as far as maybe what's today? Tuesday? As far as last Thursday, photos could be uploaded to the forum, but I haven't checked since Thursday. In terms of the Witches Box Instagram, you can't upload to our account, but you can upload to your account and then just tag us and then we'll see it, right? Because I don't know that any of us have the ability to post to someone else's account, right? So if you post it to your personal account and then just tag us at the Witches Box, then we'll see it and then we can take that and repost it. If your privacy settings allow it, we can take it and repost it to our stories. So Column says, makes sense. My tech was working fine, but my cats, my dog, my sister, and myself are all been wonky. I had a little bit of I laughed because I wrote that newsletter to all of you. I don't even know, sometime last week, I think I sent it out on the 12th of January, so whenever that was last week, about Mercury retrograde and kind of how to move through Mercury retrograde in a way where you're writing the energy and not in opposition to what it really is trying to tell us. And on Saturday, I had multiple Zooms for different classes that I'm taking, and the level of wonk. So I had to laugh at myself because I was so frustrated, and I found myself in that space, right, where I'm like, Mercury, and then I'm like, oh my God. Didn't I just write a whole thing about this? And so, I mean, it's there. It can be really frustrating. And it can also be really difficult to not do anything, like not do anything on technology, to take a pause. These are classes that I have been dying to take and participate in, and personal groups where I mean, like, just I had it in my calendar. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for this. And no, I wasn't going to not do those, but my computer was like, oh, we're not having this. And it was a struggle. And then I had to laugh, like, okay, yeah, of course. Okay. Callum has run out of room on his altar. Then you have to make more altars. It's all about the altars everywhere. Boxes going around the planet picking up extra energy. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. I found Esther. Hi, Esther. Welcome. Says hi. Will you be using any new herbs or plants this year for the boxes or items like nails, keys? Thanks. There will be nails in our future, for sure. I know we've sent nails out before, but I don't really think that you can have enough. So we will be sending more nails out this year. In terms of herbs and plants that are new, yes, because there's definitely been, I think in the last year and a half, I've sent out repeat herbs, but I'm moving into more herbs that we haven't used before. The challenge is, as I've said before, that having ¿cómo se dice? Finding like someone who can give us the amount that we need is really challenging. And so there are all sorts of gorgeous herbs out there that I want to share with you, but I can't get the amount that I need to send to everybody, which is, you know, why jokingly, this is not going to happen anytime soon or ever, but why I jokingly, you know, said many times in the past, it would be really great if we had the Witches Box farm so I can just cultivate my own herbs and send those out. But no, that's not going to happen because really too many other things to do. So the next two herbs we've never used before, and then I've got a couple of other ones lined up that I'm trying to like track down and then I can send out so that we can change it up a little bit. I found hold on, I lost my place again. Greetings from northern Wisconsin. Hi, Diane. Welcome. Using the Edgar Allan Poe deck, which I love. Oh, I've not seen that one. So using the Edgar Allan Tarot, or oh my God, Edgar Allan Poe deck, which I love, 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 and Beautiful Creatures Tarot, illustrated by Jasmine Beckett. Oh, I have not seen that. That sounds very exciting. Elliot, I missed what's happening. So what's the about? I have no idea. You know me, I kind of like, Mama skipped a thing. I don't know. So yeah, let me know because I feel like I skipped something or I missed it. Column says, Quoth the Raven, Nevermore was a chillingly good story. Yes. I mean, it's one of those classics, right? That never get old. Jayla, welcome, says, I just started the boxes on January 9th and the books on January 15th. I was watching a few unboxings from the Witch of Wonderlust. Oh, we love her. I really wanted the Elements books. Where can I get those? At this point, you can get them at either Amazon or you can get them at Llewellyn. If you go to the Llewellyn.com website, they sell through their website and you can get them all there as well. So like if you're totally anti-Amazon, you can get them from the publisher because they're still there. They still have them in stock and they're really, really good. I have a song in my head that I cannot get out and it's just making me want to move. Skylar says, haha, the teeny altar struggle is real. It is. I want more shelves on my walls and crystals. Yes, absolutely. But I have cats and have yet to figure out how to safely put them. Cats are kind of a problem. I mean, cats are magic and I love cats, but when it comes to altar keeping, cats can get very intrusive, yeah? They want to toss it around, they want to play, they want to lay. It's like a thing. Nails as in the kind used in witches bottles. Yes. You can use them in witches bottles for sure. You can use them for all sorts of things. I try to find like iron nails, and so that's usually what I try to find. But also ties, like railroad ties, are also really good. So I'm not quite sure which type, but there will be nails for sure. We're almost towards the end, so I can get to the books. Zoomy Proof House. Yes, the zooms. The zooms are cute, though, I have to say. I don't know if I said this already. One of the things that I love to do, I don't really do social media as much anymore. I just like, my new rule is, look, I'm going to be on the social media page and whatever the first 5 posts are is all I read and then I'm out. So most of the time I will repost like quotes or things. But what I do is that I have like a little separate side list for just animal videos. And so all I watch are animal videos as a way to just, let's come into love and peace and cuteness and furries. And then I cry because the duck and the horse are best friends and it's a whole thing. But one of the accounts that I follow now is for a couple that own a serval cat. If you don't know what this is, look up serval cat. Look up serval, Serval, on, well, Instagram, because I'm sure you're going to get a bunch of different accounts. These are like they're almost like savanna cats. I think in the United States, there are quite a few states that outlaw owning them, but if you do own them in other states, you have to have a permit because they're wild predatory animals. But they are the sweetest things, but they're huge. It's like a cat times 20. They're big. They've got the beautiful stripe, or not stripes, but spots. This is my new obsession. I need a serval cat, not just a regular cat, but a serval cat. And my husband's like, yeah, no. No. Taking care of a large predatory animal who apparently when you see them, they're the sweetest things ever, but I think it becomes a challenge. Like, I don't think you can actually let them roam outside like you would the cat. You have to keep them contained because, they can hurt things. Okay, Elliot, we're back. Just missing authors we've had in the past. I mean, look, you get the books, you get to be there for sure, and I'll get you in. Don't worry. You're connected. You're connected. Angela says, I love the Poe Tarot, Jasmine Beckett Griffith oracles. Yes, I'm going to write that down right now because I want them. At least I want to look at them. So give me un segundo. The Edgar Allan. Okay. I wrote it down. Skylar says, I have a question about the books, Elena. If you're out of books to sell outside of subscribers, can we perhaps send proof of purchase and pay a small amount to get the live video that you send? That's a good question. Let me think about that. I don't know that I would require you to send me proof of purchase because you either want to buy in or you don't. When I think about things like this before saying yes or no, I think about like the back end, like what would that look like, and do we have the manpower to like manage that? So I'm not going to say yes or no right now, but I'm going to write down to like do a check to see how we can make it happen, maybe in a really in an easy, streamlined way, because it's all about major simplification at this point in my life. Check, pay for video. because we had a service like that, but it's not available for purchase right now. So let me get back to you next week. Well, we'll talk about next week in a minute, but I'll get back to you on that through here. Angela says, what's your opinion on knockoff or overseas published decks? Because I found several on Alibaba that are super affordable. I'm going to say two things. One, what's my opinion on that? I mean, look, when you're an artist and someone rips off your stuff, it sucks. It's illegal in this country because, right, there's all sorts of copyright infringements that we really have no recourse to take care of because it's in a different country. But the other part of it is that you think that Alibaba is going to be cheaper, but by the time you pay for shipping and have it come to you, it's not. It's just, oh, and here we go. Temperature is too high. I think that you can still hear me. So I'm going to turn off my camera, but keep talking until my camera comes back on. So there you go. This is what Mama gets for having the heater on. Okay. So let me, I'm going to turn off my heater, but I'm going to come back to this question really quick. I think that you'll find that if you go to the publisher, or if you go to the publisher, or you go to like Amazon, even though it looks like you're paying full price, it's probably going to come out to be the same amount, because we have ordered from Alibaba before, and shipping can be a lot. And right now, waiting for something to arrive from China at this point is like, it's hellacious, basically. So if that helps make your choice a little easier, there's that. But the opinion on a knockoff is just, it kind of sucks. There are other versions that are similar that you can buy that someone maybe created that's not quite the deck that you were thinking of, but is a little different with similar themes, and you can go that route as well. I'm going to give it another minute or two, and then I'm going to turn my camera back on. So I am still here. Skylar, my cats are surprisingly good about leaving my altar, which is a small nightstand, alone, but they want to climb any and all wall items, shelves. Crazy beans. Cute. Okay, and then Diane says the Poe Tarot through Llewellyn. Skylar says thank you for considering the idea. Ada says, Elena, I married to a Cuban. The family came to the US when he was 5 years old. That's awesome. That can be a little, oh, see, now we're having all sorts of issues. Okay. Let me know if you can still hear me, because suddenly I've got a weird bitstream message on my thing. This happened last time we were here, and we were having our meditation last Friday. I don't know what is happening. So I'm not backing up to Backblaze. So if you can still hear me, I'm going to keep talking, and hopefully it'll all chill out in a second. So yeah, awesome that you're married to a Cuban. Maybe are you getting like really good Cuban food? Because Cuban food's kind of rocking. You can hear me. Great. Apparently I have to get going on my keep you warm ideas. Yeah, I know, right? Because the heater. Damn it. Tanya says, just found your site on YouTube. How do I get more information on and for your website and amazing stuff? Okay, so Tanya, you go to www.thewitchesbox.com. and all the things that you need to see are there. All right, I'm going to keep talking, and I'm not going to strain this bitrate situation with my camera quite yet. But I will hold off on sharing and showing you all the books that I was going to show you, because obviously I can't. So like that. So throw me some questions, and I'll keep answering, and then we'll go from there. So my mother-in-law sent me for Christmas a down, like a lap blanket. So it's a down comforter type blanket, but it's like small enough where I think it's even half, like not the size of a twin bedspread, but like for your lap. So I've got that, which is great, because the floor is cold, and I got a little too cocky and turned on my heater too, and now my camera overheated, and now also we're having bitrate issues. So we're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna go for another, let's say 10 minutes. And if my bitrate doesn't get better, I'm going to just close this out. But before I do that, let me think really quick. Do I have any other announcements for you? Okay, obviously all the January boxes are out. I've already given you the reveal on what the February boxes are. Oh, this is important. So listen, next Tuesday, I am not going to be doing a live at 1 o'clock. I will, however, be doing, well, I don't know if I can. So the Tuesday live is potentially not going to happen because next Tuesday we're going to be doing a live at 10 a.m. Pacific time for the book or the Witches Box Q&A, which is also here on YouTube. But I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be in a hotel. So that's always kind of a crapshoot. So we're just going to go with it, see what happens, and play it by ear on that day. It may be that I don't have enough of a signal. It may be that I do, and it's okay. So that's happening. But know that at 10 o'clock next Tuesday, I'm going to start with the lives. And if it works out, then yes, I will do a live at 1 o'clock. The next 2 Fridays, our live guided meditations are going to be pre-recorded because I'm going to be traveling. And I think that that's it. I'll have things to share with you because I'm going to be doing a really gorgeous retreat with a woman who is an amazing shaman leader, but also does workshops and coaching on writing. So that's where I'm going to be, and that's what I will share with you when I come back. But that I won't come back really until a regular schedule until the 2nd of February. So, okay, cross your fingers because I'm going to turn on my camera. All right, let's see what's happening. You can do it, girl. Okay, let me fix my hair because holy cow. Can you see me? Let me know if you can see me because it may make everything worse. Oh, my bit rate seems to be improving. We will see. Tell me if you can see me. I'm going to try to show you these books really quick. If it doesn't work, I think I'm buffering. Then we're just going to end it and I'll show you these books at another time. Yes, hot water bottles for sure. Have you ever heard of Bird Magic? Yes, I have the book. I have that book. And it's a great correspondence list book, which, I mean, if you're really into birds, it's really great to have. Slanket. That's awesome. You see me? Yes. And am I buffering or do you see me like in real time? I spy you. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So cross your fingers, send my computer and YouTube some good vibes. Come on, you guys. You can do it. Because I'm frozen to me on the screen, by the way. Okay, so Nick Bantock, I discovered, I'm going to see actually, I haven't looked to see when this was published. Nick Bantock, I discovered, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s. I want to say that it was actually in the late 90s. And he came out with a series called the Griffin and Sabine Chronicles or series. And hold on, I'm going to try to see when these were published. Let me know if I get wonky. 1991, okay? So this was the first one that landed. Do you see? And there are 3. They're thin. It's not, and they're hardcover beautifully, but all of these illustrations are his. And so what this is a correspondence between 2 people in a very mysterious way. I think I mentioned this when I first started talking about this deck. It had to me a very Myst quality. For those of you who are like older and played Myst on a Mac. I don't know if Myst is also available on, well, I don't know if it's available anymore. And I don't know if it's available on a Windows computer, but it has this quality because they end up in this strange correspondence with each other that feels like it's out of time and like they're out of sync. They're in different time spaces. There's a mystery to it. They want to get to know each other. It's very beautiful, very romantic. But the whole book is, hold on, they're illustrations of their correspondence. And so sometimes you'll see the actual postcard, but sometimes, right, you get the image of the postcard and the writing, which is beautiful. Again, all original art. But then you get these beautiful pop-ups or these sections where you get the actual envelope with the letter inside that's also illustrated. It is so beautiful. So there are 3 books. This is Griffin and Sabine, An Extraordinary Correspondence. Then the next one was Sabine's Notebook, in which the extraordinary correspondence of Griffin and Sabine continues. And then there's The Golden Mean, which is the chronicles conclude, right? Their correspondence concludes, and you get sort of to the end of it, and I'm not going to tell you what you find out. So I've got these three, and then I have this. But apparently, he went on to write all sorts of additions to this story and other books like it. So I'm thinking I need to look at my budget, but I think I want to order them all and then do like a whole video with the deck, but also these books because they're really so beautiful. This is the other one, Urgent Second Class. He's just got this gorgeous fascination with correspondence and drawings. It's really very beautiful. It has nothing to do with witchcraft, but I can tie it to witchcraft only because he created this gorgeous Oracle deck. And it's books and it's art and it's beautiful and it's a really gorgeous magical way to just spend an afternoon because you can read through them fairly quickly, but there is this mystical element to it. You don't know what's going on. You don't, it's like a little confusing, like where is he, where is she, and how are they connecting to send these emails, listen to me, these letters to each other. So it's quite lovely. Okay, so Ada says, yes, Elena, I do make Cuban dishes. He loves how I make the black bean and rice. Oh, I'm hungry right now. Being Puerto Rican. Oh yeah, girl, then if you're Puerto Rican, then you have all sorts of things in common. For sure. Oh, the food, the food. Got a hot apple toddy. Oh, I want an apple toddy. That's amazing. Yes. Okay, so Emerence does remember Mist, and it was on PC as well. Awesome. I need to look it up to see if it's still around. There was just something so and it when you look at it now, I think look back on it now, it was a fairly simple video game, sort of. I thought the graphics were really beautiful and it seemed different at the time, but it was also a very different type of game because it wasn't like there people weren't warring or not. It's all about uncovering the clues that reveal the story. And I don't actually even think that I got to the end of it, but I loved the hunting for these clues and everything felt kind of mystical and out of time, and I loved it. I loved it. Yes, I also need more bookshelves. I need a pen pal chat group on your forum. Then, girl, create it. If you go to the Witches Gathering, that forum that's available to everybody, make the thread and put it out. I would love to see what happens out of that because yes, a long time ago I was part of a kind of a pen pal group where we would send each other ATCs or art cards, right? Or different collage, yummy art pieces, or round robins. Do you remember? I don't know if people still do these round robins where you send an envelope around with, like, let's say you have 12 people in your group and I send 12 versions of a thing that I created. And as that letter goes, one person takes out one for them, but adds one for someone else. I mean, there's so many things that we can do through the mail, which, I mean, hi, these books inspire that in a really beautiful way. Tested good and burned deliciously. Okay, so are we talking about the toddy or the incense? And okay, got it, got it, got it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I am definitely thinking to close it, even though we're working, because I think we've come to a good point. But what else do I need to say? I think that that's it. I don't think I have any other announcements right now. Just the one about next Tuesday. Hopefully it'll work because I'm going to be in a hotel. It's one of those moments where I couldn't really make the schedule work. But I think that that's it. I will be in a very cold place. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, but I'm going to be in a room, so it'll be okay. But I'm a little nervous about the cold in Vancouver, and I'll be in Vancouver for a hot minute. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, so to join the forum, we have a free forum that's available for everybody. You just have to log in or create a login for it, and then you see it, and that's called the Witches Gathering. The Witches Gathering forum. And then we do have forums that are specific to the subscription, so that if you're subscribed to the books, you have access to the book forum, and if you are subscribed to the box, then you have access to the box forum as well. But the Witches Gathering place it's free. Excuse me, you just have to create a login, because when you go to the website and you're not logged in, it's not open to just anyone. So it's behind a login wall, so there's at least a little bit of privacy there. Okay, I think not really a fan of whiskey, but still, yeah, I'm not a whiskey person either. I'm a rum or a vodka girl. Those are my drinks. I am a martini girl to the end. I just posted the most delicious martini that I had over the holidays when I was with my husband in Maui with my mother-in-law, and it was delicious. It was really good. I mean, it was really good. It was really surprising, and I haven't had a martini in a long time because we just haven't been out to drink, and I don't really make them at home. I don't tend to drink at home. Anyway, all that to say that I'm having flashbacks to that great drink. It was amazing. So this is a good question. I'll answer this and then I'm out. So Lourdes says, a quick question. Do tarot decks and oracles go stagnant if not used often? It's not that they go stagnant, because once you pick it up and you start to shuffle it, it starts to revivify a little bit. But it's more about, if you're out of practice, is it going to be slow going, right? Because it's a language and it's a muscle. And so if you have been away from them for a while, that slowness or that sluggishness might be part of you and not being familiar. But if you're still working with other cards and then a particular deck just kind of sits on the side, I think that the act of just touching it, entering into that connection with intention, and then the movement and the hands and coming back to it revivifies the whole thing. But you can also do reconsecrations. You can put it over incense, smoke that you really like to kind of reawaken them again. So there are all sorts of simple things that you can do to kind of bring it back to life. I don't think that they die though. You know what I mean? Vancouver shouldn't be too cold. Be glad you're not going to Alberta. Yeah, I can't be dealing. I don't even know what your life in Alberta is. I have no idea what that level of cold is. I don't even understand it. So I am my suitcase is filled with all sorts of layers of things, and we will see how it goes. I imagine there's going to be a lot of hot drinks in my future. Okay, so Elena, we will miss you for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna look at my calendar, so just don't mind my looking at my phone. I don't want to be rude, but I'm gonna look at my calendar here because I won't know how to. So I'm here, except for Fridays. Those are gonna be pre-recorded. So the 21st and the 28th, those 2 Fridays, you will get a guided meditation. They will just be pre-recorded. My words are gone. Today's Tuesday. I will be on here next Tuesday, but I'm nervous, and I don't want to even put it into the future, but I'm nervous about the connection. I will definitely be on at 10 a.m. here next Tuesday for the Live for the Witches book box. If it goes well, then I will definitely be here at 1 o'clock. If it doesn't go well, then I won't try it a second time. So that's kind of where we're at. But then the following week, I'm going to post this on our comments in the community section of YouTube, because for sure on the 1st of February, I will not be here because I will be flying that day. So that February 1st Tuesday will definitely be kind of like a blackout day, but I will be live. I know you're not going to be able to keep track of all this, but I will be live with our guided meditation on the 4th. So you might miss me once. So we'll see. We just need to keep sending me connectivity energy so that all of the tech works, even though I'm going to be in a hotel. Okay. Okay, I think that we're good. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Colum sleeps on a pile. Yeah, no, the books. I'm too embarrassed to show you what's going on in this office, to be very honest with you, because I'm being overtaken by piles of books and I don't know where I'm going to put them. So now it's like, what furniture piece do I get rid of so that I can put more books in another space? One day I will finish the redo and I can show you a whole video of what it looks like after the disaster that I'm living in right now. All right, my loves, take care of yourselves. Stay warm or stay cool, depending on where you are. And we will come back next week, hopefully, if it all goes well. And then Friday at 10 o'clock, we have a guided meditation that'll go live at 10 Pacific time. Okay, so take care. Bye.